Traditional music in Ireland includes ballads, laments, as well as drinking songs, which is what Ireland is best known for. Many of these songs can be accompanied with or without music. Just like many cultures and countries in the olden days, music was traditionally passed down from generation to generation orally, without any formal writing to go along with it. Rather, every song and tune was learned by ear, which is still the preferred way of learning music to this day. There is actually a school that teaches students how to train your ear to be able to learn music just by listening to it. It wasn't until 1762 that music was first written down. With music finally being written, musicians were able to travel and compile music from other musicians, which gave the Irish more diversity in their music, since it was very hard to find two musicians that played the same tune similarly. Then, when Britain imposed the penal law and banned the Irish language completely, the majority of Irish traditional lyrics were lost forever since some of them were written down. Once the famine hit, many Irish families fled to America to find jobs working on the railroads alongside many African Americans, which eventually led to an integration of both African and Irish music that they sung every day while they worked. The most culturally significant instrument in Ireland is the harp. Professionals were hired by chieftains who eventually ran out of the country by invaders. It was the harp that the traveling musicians played while they were on the road, and over the years the harp became a very important instrument culturally to Ireland. It has been on every corn issued in Dublin since the formation of the Free State in 1920. Russian music dates back to the middle of the first millennium. Their songs were sung in many different languages, including Slavic, Turkish, and Finno-Ugric, depending on where it originated from, which even stays true for today. However, all of the regions do have one thing in common, and that is that they all have pagan ties rather than Christian references. Since the Orthodox Church put a ban on musical instruments being played in churches, this forced vocals to become the main focus in church, which gave them more significance in Russian music. While individual ballads are usually about heroic characters in life, all other Russian songs follow two rituals. The first one being by calendar. Songs are associated with sowing, harvesting, and other farming rituals, while the second has to do with the family, such as birth, death, and marriage. The first collection of Russian written music was generally considered to be two-faced by Soviet Russia. On one hand, the government declared it patriotic. On the other, it was seen as a tradition of the Yuklaks, who were virtually outlaws and did not follow along with the communism ideals. Classic Russian folk music is very unique and recognizable by the lack of instruments that are played. Russian music is still alive and thriving to this day.
Throughout South America, music is the heart of the country. Brazil has a flavor of its very own. The type of music in Brazil is the samba, which has rich African style mixed with Portuguese and Indian influence. Samba is a heartbeat of carnival bossa nova in the mixture of American jazz and samba. It became popular in the 1960s. Classical music is also part of Brazil's culture. A man by the name of Hector Lobos, the country's most famous composer, he composed operas and symphonies combining Brazilian folk melodies and classical orchestra. Filipino music and art both form cultures that have immigrated to this country, have been affected. The first type of music that was developed in the Philippines, indigenous music brought here by native tribes. There are three basic indigenous music styles: southern styles, styles of the north, and other styles. The southern style of music usually consists of 5 different instruments, including the ang, the gangdagan, These styles of northern indigenous music reflecting ancient Asian gong music. Their music usually offers long called bongos scales in addition to the tools of the music styles. The south and north uses the other instruments in the Philippines are using the long drums, flutes, string instruments, and bamboo. Hispanic cultures in Spain and Mexico have greatly influenced the development of Filipino music. These cultures have musical forms like the harna introduced most of these forms of music as a result of the merge between the styles of tribal music and traditional Spanish and Mexican music. Today, the influence of Spain and Mexico is still in modern Filipino music, modern popular music in the Philippines, and in Spanish.
Jordan is a Middle Eastern country surrounded by Saudi Arabia, Syria, Iraq, and Israel. A lot of Jordanian culture stems from its neighboring countries like Saudi Arabia and Iraq. However, what distinguishes Jordanian folk music from the rest of them is its strong Bedouin influence. The Khoisan people of South Africa are known to be one of the first inhabitants of the land. They engaged in a lot of musical activities. Their music was characterized by chants and dances that mimic antelopes. The Khoisan people use music as a way of reaching their ancestors. Today, the Khoisan people are a minority in South Africa, but then the culture is still widely celebrated.
The music of Japan includes a wide array of performers in distinct styles, both traditional and modern. Japan boasts the largest physical music market in the world and the second largest overall music market in the world. In addition to religious and festival music, every region of Japan has its own folk songs, called minyo, which, depending on daily activities of the traditional community, can be a song about anything. On top of that, a variety of folk songs are also sung at parties. Enga, the Japanese equivalent of American country and general Western music, is nowadays commonly sung at karaoke bars. The origins of the rake and scrape band hails back to the 1800s, when the Africans who were brought to the Bahamas looked to make music on whatever was available to them. Carpenters saw pork barrels with goat or sheepskin and an accordion. Today, this is the more popularly played music in schools, public events, On top of that, a variety of folk songs are also sung at parties. Enga, the Japanese equivalent of American country and general Western music, is nowadays commonly sung in karaoke bars.